I came straight out of retirement into town council.
And you retired from what?
I retired as an educator in Orange County. I was in the school system for 35 years. I worked at Orange Elementary School for the majority of my education career, and I was a teacher there, and then I was assistant principal there. And after I worked there, I went to Locust Grove Middle School, where I was the principal there. I moved here in 1976. That was when my contract began, my teaching career. When I graduated college, well, before I graduated college, I was in college, right? So I was dating my present husband now, Roby, and he was at the University of Virginia, and he did an internship here in Orange in the county schools, and that's how I came to know about Orange. And then it just so happened that the year I graduated from college, it was one of those years where the first place that offered you a job, you took it because jobs were extremely scarce, and Orange County was the first place to offer me a job, and I accepted, and I loved it. All those years, I loved working here as an educator.
Can you give me some of your memories from when you first arrived here in town, of the town of Orange? Things that you remember.
Well, it's one of the memories that I have is when my husband was coming to Orange to find a place to live, to do his internship and everything. We had to look Orange up on the map. We had never heard of it before. Nowhere did we know where it was, so we had to look it up on a map, and we came here. And it was, at that time, Orange was kind of a little bustling Main Street town. It had department stores, it had a five and dime, things of that nature. And it was kind of interesting to watch the people in the town. They were very, very friendly. I remember that. And the things that I like about the town and really fond memories are, even though I wasn't born here, it takes a long time to be accepted as not a newcomer. So I think I'm still thought of as a newcomer no matter what, but they have really embraced my family and myself. The town has just given us a great place to live. They've given us a great support system. They've welcomed us when our child was born. It's a place where people really are sincere about the people that they interact with and the things that they do. And that's a great memory of mine from many years back, with interactions with the school system, parents. All of those people have helped me stay here in this area because I feel secure, and it makes me happy to be here. It really does.
How has the town changed between when you first came and the way it is today?
The main thing that I see is, and I hear many people talk about this too, our main street has changed quite a bit as far as available walk-in businesses are. Unfortunately, when you are in a small town, that's something people want. But the demographics, the plans of how small towns work now have changed a lot. Yes, it is important that you would have a clothing store to go into to buy something. I agree. That was very convenient to be able to go to Leggett's or any of the other stores that were here. But those decisions were made by corporate, not by the people here in the town. And now the main streets of the towns don't house like your box stores or anything of this nature. You have those on the strip type malls coming into the town. Whenever you travel, you will see that with small towns. They don't have those types of shops in town. I think that's one of the main things I see in the town that has changed. I see another thing that's changed is I remember the Woodbury Forest students used to come into town all the time, and of course they would ride on Coleman Taxi then because that was the main transportation for them. I don't see the students in town as much as I used to, so I think that's a big change. For some reason it was just kind of interesting to see that on Saturday afternoons. They would come in and they'd go to the Safeway, which is not here anymore, and they would do things in town and then pack up with Coleman's and go back to Woodbury Forest. So just little things have changed. I don't see big things, but little things, and a lot of little things make a big difference sometimes. So
how can Main Street reinvent itself?
Well, Main Street has got to reinvent itself at this point in time so that it serves a tourist population and the people of the town. One thing people like to do is they like to go out to eat. And people like to have restaurants on Main Street. It's convenient. And if you have a tourist population or if you have guests come to your house on the weekend, you want to be able to say, well, let's go uptown. I've got a nice restaurant. I'd like for you to go eat and have a good time with us. You can walk up there. While you're walking, you can look at the stores. You can look at all the buildings on Main Street. We've got the museum here in town. We have the James Madison Museum. It's a walking town so that you can enjoy the parks. Maybe there's a concert there. So if you had a place to eat, that's a good thing to do. The concerts and the arts that are coming into our town, I think will help revive the town a lot, because the arts, especially now, are really beginning to boom. The Arts Center is doing an excellent job of providing classes. The music that we're having on Main Street, the ODA helps get that started and taken care of. Those are things that people are interested in doing, and they even want to see more of that.
Orange turns 150 years old this year. Any birthday wishes or pronouncements that you want to make?
I think that right now my wishes for the town would be that we can stay to a healthy economy that we have now. The economy that the town council, the town manager, and the business side of the town has made it so that the town is sound. It's financially sound, so that we can look into doing the projects that we need to do for the future. We can look at how we can advance ourselves and look at what we need to hire and to have support us so we can advance into the future. And I want us to see that carry forth. I think the verbal history of this town is quite interesting, and I'm hoping that people who contributed verbal history in any way, that history can be written down, and the pictures that we have, those will be things that we can carry forth, because it's really interesting to sit down and look at how a building is still standing and all the things that have changed, and look at that building and just have a story from nothing but the building itself. It can tell you so many things about the town, and I want that verbal history to continue so that people can enjoy it into the future. And it's very important that we don't forget the people who founded and worked hard to secure a place that this town would succeed into the future. I think that's extremely important to remember.
One of the things I've heard said several times during these interviews is that more than 50% of the residents of the town of Orange rent their residence and don't own it. And I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
Well, I don't really have an opinion on that, if you want to know the truth. I have some ideas of how I think it works in our community. Right now we're getting ready to build 100 new homes over on Round Hill Meadows, and we've already got lots bought and sold, and those will be privately owned single family dwellings. But sometimes people can't always afford to buy a home. People need options of how they live and what they can do according to their income, according to what they want to do. And I think you have to respect the way that people choose to live. I think that our town is fortunate enough that we can have options for people. And I don't think it says anything bad about our town. I just think it's an eclectic group of people who live here. And I respect the way people choose to live. And we're trying to give them more options with, the apartments that we have built. We've also are trying to with the number of new homes that we're trying to get built too. So, we'll see how things move into the next 10 to 15 years with that.
You mentioned 10 or 15 years down the road. What is your vision for the town of Orange 20 years down the road, 50 years, 100 years?
Well, that we're still here for sure in 100 years. But 10 to 15, even 20 years down the road, we'll still be here and we'll still be thriving, because I think there are things as a foundation right now that the community, the town itself, can build upon to continue with the success that it has. Now, everyone doesn't think the town is always successful. I understand that. That's opinion, and some of it's fact, too. Because, like we were talking a few minutes ago, the Main Street is something people go, I can't go and buy anything anymore on Main Street. I appreciate that when people say that, because we have a very veteran population here in the town, and sometimes going out of town is not a convenience for people. And so I'm hoping that into the future, we can have something on Main Street that not everything will suit everybody, but we will have things that people can pick and choose from. Also, I'm hoping that we can maintain, we have one industry in town, that's American Woodmark, and I'm hoping that they will be with us and that they can continue to be the industry in the town. We have excellent places for events. Those event places make wonderful income for the town to use and to plan for the future. And we can use that income to build new sidewalks, repair roads. The town owns all the roads. We are not in the VDOT system. We are in the VDOT system, but we maintain and take care of all the roads, and we need the money to do that. So the things that we have in the town that bring in revenue, those are the things we're going to have to maintain into the future so that the town will have the money to increase and build and make sure we can keep modern too.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I'm glad I came to Orange. It's been a wonderful experience. It gave me a great career. I have no regrets about being in education. I loved every minute of it. Would I have ever thought I would have run for a political office? Never, ever. But it's been a great experience. I've learned a lot. I think I understand more about how people feel about things. I understand the nuances of how things have to be done. I understand how people don't like what you do too, and how you have to work through that and come to a solution and do the right things. But I'm glad I came here, and I think that 150 years of a small town that has made it through fires and many destructive things that have come through, that they've rebuilt, and this town is still alive, a pandemic, you couldn't ask for anything more. They've had a strong backbone with its citizens and support, and I wish it a wonderful, happy 150th birthday, and I'd like to see 200, so it would be wonderful.